On 8 November 2019, Kenya's president assented to the Data Protection Act 2019. The act governs the collection, handling, transfer, and destruction of data of natural persons. It completely changed the data landscape in Kenya and granted extensive rights and protections to data subjects. A data subject refers to any individual person who can be identified, directly or indirectly, via an identifier such as a name, an ID number, location data, or via factors specific to the person's physical, physiological, genetic, mental, economic, cultural or social identity. The Act defines data controller as the person or entity that determines the purpose and means of processing data. Let's imagine you are an organization that organizes a marathon and you require athletes to register with their personal details, such as name, phone number, and identification numbers. That qualifies you as a data controller. A data processor, on the other hand, is defined as an individual or entity that processes personal data on behalf of data controller, but excludes employees of controller, and has a contractual relationship with controller and has no decision-making power as to processing and purpose of personal data. Expanding on our example above, an organization or individual that is contracted to manage a web or mobile platform where the actual registration of the marathon participants takes place is a data processor. Depending on the scope of data that they interact with, social media influencers, managers, and marketers can also be classified as data processors. Data controllers and processors are expected to register with the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, which is the government entity tasked with the responsibility of implementing the Data Act. However, not every controller and processor is expected to register. Those with annual turnovers or revenues of less than 5 million are mostly exempted, unless their business includes political canvassing, gambling, crime prevention, health administration, property management, provision of financial services, transport services, religious or faith-based institutions, and telecommunications networks. More information on the Act can be found on www.odpc.go.ke. Next, we shall be looking at the major highlights of the Act, what the Act means for digital marketers and social media influencers in Kenya, how to ensure your website is compliant with the Data Protection Act, and how the Act benefits businesses.